So it was announced this week that when Marvel Avengers hits the shelves in all retailers, that the PS4 version will have an exclusive character. And that exclusive character is none other than the Sony-owned property, Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man, of course, had big success with its recent release, Spider-Man on PS4, and also with the upcoming Spider-Man Miles Morales, set to be released on this holiday of 2020 on the new PS5. But for some reason, gamers became very salty and very heated when it came to this news. A lot of people were just upset, mad, whining, complaining, just whining and complaining about nothing. And the reason why I say nothing is because console exclusive titles and characters have been a thing for years. Now, I get it. I understand that we are in an age now where we have cross-play, where PS4 players can play with Xbox players and Steam players can play with PC players. But there is a level of exclusivity when it comes to certain things that consoles offer. It helps the market more competitive when certain consoles can offer certain things that other consoles can't. You guys remember, if you don't remember, way back in the day when there was a release for Soul Calibur 2, the PS2, the Xbox, and the Nintendo GameCube all had 3 different characters that you could play with, whether it's Hayachi, Spawn, or Link. These characters were offered as exclusives depending upon which console you owned. And I didn't see a problem with that. I didn't even see a problem with it years beforehand when you could only play Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis. You could only play Mario on the Nintendo or SNES. You could only play Tomb Raider on PlayStation. It's just how the game works, people. They have to be able to offer you something that no other competitor can offer you. And you have to make the decision as a consumer to whether that is enough to make you want to buy that product. It's just economics 101. But what do I know? I'm just a guy who's been playing video games his whole life. Stop complaining. Get over it. Ladies and gentlemen, blurds and nerds, freaks and geeks, this is Do You Speak Geek, episode 42. Hey there, all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome to Do You Speak Geek. I am your host, Nix. Thank you for everyone who has been listening thus far, and all the new listeners. Welcome to Do You Speak Geek. If you have just joined us for the first time, you can listen to us on Spreaker. That's probably where you're listening to us right now. Spreaker.com is the home team where you can listen to the Do You Speak Geek podcast. Also, be sure to go to doyouspeakgeek.com, where you can follow along with us, you can listen to us, you can watch us. Everything DYSG is there. Also, don't forget we're on other podcast outlets as well, such as Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher. We're kind of everywhere. So be sure to follow the podcast on those platforms as well if you don't have a Spreaker account. Follow us on social medias, Facebook at DYSG Media, Twitter at _DoYouSpeakGeek, and Instagram at DoYouSpeakGeek. YouTube is where you can find the Dono and Daddy Show. Our latest episode of First Friday Fights has been released, where we debuted a new fight, Gohan and Goten versus the Superboys, Connor and John Kent. Be sure to go check that out. And while you're there, subscribe, like that video, and dozens of others. Hulk smash that bell for all notifications. Give it a big old Detroit smash, as Donna would say. And be sure to leave comments. We want to know what you guys think. Let's jump right into the show. Let's do what we do about this time, y'all. Let's speak geek.
Suit up.
I wanna be the very best.
Talk nerdy to me.
Are you ready?
All right, so the big news this week, the DC FanDome released a trailer and teaser news. Now, there is a massive guest list of what seems to be hundreds of actors, directors, writers, artists, production companies, video game companies, podcasters, bloggers, and much more. I mean, who is going to be there, basically. I mean, I've seen people from... Let's just jump into it and see who's going to be there. Now, Mortal Kombat Injustice co-creator Ed Boon has confirmed his place at the DC FanDome event. Let's see, Matt Reeves has confirmed that Robert Pattinson and the other massive guest list people will be there to help promote the Batman. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson has promised to be there to share Black Adam and a little preview trailer for that. Batwoman star Cameron Johnson, the guy who plays, I believe it's Luke Fox, he has teased that the debut of FanDome for the Batwoman show is going to blow everyone's minds. Also, in addition to that, Toonami partners with DC FanDome to air DC animated movies leading up to the DC Comics event. Now, on August 15th, around 12 a.m., you can watch Batman Year One, and at 1:30 a.m., you can watch Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1. The following Saturday, the next week, on the 22nd of the day of the event, you can watch Batman Gotham Knight at 12 a.m., and then at 1:45 a.m., Part 2 to Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Also, James Gunn has confirmed that the Suicide Squad will get a first look at the DC FanDome event. Y'all, this is going to be a crazy event. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. This is going to be incredible. It's going to be epic. 24 hours of nothing but pure dripping goodness from DC, and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Let's jump into my favorite portion of the show as usual, Source Wall.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
Behold the Source Wall.
Can you read, my son?
Well, that depends.
There is nothing wrong with reading a story and looking at the pictures.
Enough said, Stan. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We have the pull list. Batman number 96. The Joker War Part 2. Reeling from the effects of the worst Joker toxin attack ever, Batman is on the run through Gotham City, pursued by the dark shadows and voices that haunt his past and present. As the Joker plan materializes, the only person who can save Batman from the brink of true badness is Harley Quinn. Plus, who is the mysterious new figure known as Clown Hunter? I got a feeling who that might be, but I'll let you guys make your own predictions on that. Empire number 4. Tensions mount as the action heats up. As the attack on Wakanda intensifies, there's always an attack on Wakanda. Have you noticed that? The heroes find themselves under attack from their enemies and their allies. In a war where nobody can fully be trusted, betrayal cuts deep as the alien invasion claims its first casualty. In this issue, the shock ending you never expected. You will want to frame it for your wall, true believer. That's just the premise, but I agree. You want to keep this one. We also have Firepower number 1. This is an all-new monthly series created by Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney. The one who wields the firepower is destined to save the world, but Owen Johnson has turned his back on that life. He doesn't want the power. He never did. He only wants to spend time with his family and live his life, but unseen forces are at work to make that impossible. Danger lurks around every corner as Owen's past comes back to haunt him. This was a good book. I really enjoyed this one. I was looking to see what Kirkman was going to do with this one, and he didn't disappoint. The Dreaming Waking Hours number 1, The Bard and the Bard, Part 1. A new chapter in the Sandman saga begins with an all-new miniseries populated by faces both familiar and new. One of Dream's heaviest responsibilities is the creation of nightmares, the beings that haunt our sleep and turn our thoughts toward darkness. In the form of ruin, the nightmare of catastrophe catastrophic failure, Dream was certain he'd build his next masterpiece. But Ruin can't help but live up to his name, sending every situation into a spiral of unexpected consequences. Unfortunately, Shakespearean scholar and exhaustedly new mother Lindy has dreamed of Ruin, and in the process, she's delivered him into the walking world. Kind of scary there. And we also have Horizon Zero Dawn #1. This is a brand new comic sequel story to the award-winning game by Guerrilla. Aloy and Talana return. Nature has reclaimed the planet. Awe-inspiring machines dominate the land as humanity fights for survival on this new Earth. Co-created by one of the writers of the Horizon Zero Dawn game and Tool. Horizon Zero Dawn Free Comic Book Day 0 ties into this brand new #1. Now, we also have some Source Wall news. This one I got kind of excited about because I actually read this book back in the day. DC is bringing a new Wildstorm print into back to publication. It's Gen 13. Now, Gen 13 debuted with a massive hit and helped shape the 90s comic book marketplace. And it's coming back into print, well, at least in part, with a new deluxe edition hardcover of much of J. Scott Campbell's run on the series due in 2021. Now, despite its success and best-selling crossovers with Superman, Spider-Man, The Max, and others, Gen 13 had been largely sidelined since DC shuttered the Wildstorm imprint around the launch of the New 52 back in 2011. Characters from the comic appeared in some New 52 titles, but have since vanished from the DC universe again, and Gen 13 is not even available digitally. The new volume, Gen 13 Starting Over, will reportedly hit store shelves in May of 2021. It will be a reprinting of a previously collected edition released in 2002, but with a new trade dress and a new cover. I'm probably going to pick that up. I mean, like I said, you can't find it anywhere digitally, so this will be a good collection piece to add to your collection if you're collecting comic books or graphic novels. So go out and pick this up. Check it out if you haven't read it before. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. Let's jump into Watch This.
Watch this, y'all. Thunder! Thunder!
Lannister always pays his debts.
Whoa, dude.
I am the villain of the story.
Alright, so we gotta deal with some old business before we deal with some new business. This one's my bad, this one's on me. I forgot to do this last week, but let's go ahead and jump into it anyway. The Netflix's Umbrella Academy Season 2 review. Now, this was a dope first episode for Season 2, y'all. You gotta check it out if you have not. While it may tread familiar ground, Umbrella Academy Season 2 improves on its predecessor by focusing on all the things that made Season 1 so dope. It's rapid-fire banter, kinetic action sequences, killer soundtrack, and the complicated family dynamic at its heart. By jettisoning some of the distracting peripheral elements that bogged Season 1 down, this feels like a tighter, more confident version of the series, laying down the groundwork for a fascinating and potentially far more original and epic Season 3. Check it out if you have not. If you haven't finished Season 1, binge through that whole thing as quickly as you can and jump right into Season 2. You are going to love it, I promise you. Now, for some new business. Disney is going to release Mulan on Disney Plus, and you're thinking, oh, that's going to be amazing. I can't wait to watch it. Here's the catch. To view this on Disney Plus, you're going to have to pay an additional $30. Now, of course, we know that Disney's Mulan is going to hit the service because it's been pushed back so many times due to the pandemic, but it is set to premiere on September 4th. And it's going to be using a new premium access feature. Like I said, $30 to watch it. But the good thing about that is once you do pay that $30, you get to keep the movie indefinitely as long as you maintain your subscription. Now, a lot of people are not feeling this in any kind of way whatsoever. The fact that they have to pay an additional $30 on top of their monthly subscription, I could see why people will be upset. A lot of people were already not sold on Mulan in the first place, because of the fact that a lot of the songs, I think all the songs, are not going to be in this film. And the live action adaptation is just not going to live up, as far as some people may think, to the animated version, which is fine. I mean, for me personally, Mulan was never my top 10 anyway, but I could see the disdain there. In any event, it's going to be available for $30. Check it out if you like to. I probably will, just to review it, but we'll see what happens on that one. Now, this is some dope news here. John Wick 5 was announced, and it will film back to back with the fourth movie in early 21. Lionsgate CEO John Feldheimer says both films are in the scripting stage, and they hope to have John Wick 4 ready for Memorial Day weekend in 2022, according to Deadline. Quote, "We're also busy preparing scripts for the next 2 installments of our John Wick action franchise, with John Wick 4 slated to hit theaters Memorial Day weekend 2022. We hope to shoot both John Wick 4 and 5 back to back when Keanu becomes available early next year." Man, they're gonna keep milking this John Wick thing for all it's worth, and I am here for it. Knight Rider movie reboot in the works. Now, the film is in the works at Spyglass Media Group, which will develop the project with James Wan and Michael Clear's Atomic Monsters production, with Justin Scott executive producing. Video game writer TJ Fixman, who wrote Resistance Fall of Man, will be adapting the screenplay, which Deadline reports will be a present-day take that will maintain the anti-establishment tone of the original Knight Rider TV series. Judson Scott will serve as an executive producer. No other plot details have been revealed so far, including the immediate question that most Knight Rider fans will have, including myself: will we see the Hoth make an appearance in this film? Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Knight Rider, it's about this guy who is probably the creme de la creme of all 80s good-looking guys on television, David Hasselhoff, and the Kit car, which was one of the most BA cars ever made. I hope this movie does see the light of day, and I can't wait to check it out in theaters. Of course, I'm an 80s baby, and I'm going to be there. Captain Marvel 2 lands a director, and it is Nia DaCosta. Now, according to a new report, Nia has been tapped to helm the highly anticipated Marvel Studios sequel, making her the first black woman to direct a Marvel movie. DaCosta is perhaps best known for directing and co-writing the upcoming Candyman reboot, which has become one of the most highly anticipated horror films on the horizon after its buzzworthy first trailers. Captain Marvel 2, which will star Brie Larson as titular comic heroine, will officially be announced in January of this year, along with the confirmation that Captain Marvel directors Ann Boden and Ryan Fleck would not be returning to direct the sequel. At the time, reports indicate the Marvel Studios was hoping to find a female director for the job, and they definitely did find one. In addition to Candyman, DaCosta is also known for her 2018 work, Little Woods, as well as directing multiple episodes of the British TV series Top Boy. I think it's a good look. Can't wait to see what she's gonna do with this one. I can hear the tears falling from the sexist men out there, but hey, die mad. Let's jump into Thumb Life.
Peace, love, and video games!
That sound like Donkey Kong.
That man is playing Galaga.
Alright gamers, Thumb Life news. This was the big one this week. Suicide Squad game has been confirmed by Rocksteady Studios. The long-awaited project from the creators of the Batman Arkham series has teased with an image showing Superman from behind with the Suicide Squad logo forming crosshairs on the back of his head. Details about the new Suicide Squad game are slim, but at least we know when we'll be able to learn more. Rocksteady Studios, just like the ones I mentioned before, will be in attendance at the DC FanDome event on August 22nd. Man, it's going to be incredible. I cannot wait. It's going to be dope. If you know me at all personally, you know that I'm a huge fan of the Arkham series, and I think this is going to be something otherworldly, in my personal opinion. But we shall see. PlayStation State of Play for this month. Everything that was announced and revealed, the Hitman trilogy and also Vader Immortal are coming to PlayStation VR. The Hitman trilogy, including the forthcoming Hitman 3, will be fully available. That will be in January 2021. And Vader Immortal is coming to VR on August 25th. These games look amazing so far, and it's going to be pretty dope to see the Vader that was made famous on Oculus. Control AWE expansion has a date now. It will be on August 27th. The new trailer featured a glimpse of Alan Wake, confirming AWE as Remedy's suspected Control Alan Wake crossover. I think this is going to be a pretty good one here. Check that out if you have the original. Hood, Outlaws, and Legends announced for PS5. Now, this is set during Britain's Dark Ages. Hood is a third-person 4 vs 4 multiplayer heist game that developer Sumo Newcastle calls a dark and gritty reimagining of the Robin Hood legend. If you feel like getting down on some old, medieval dark time stuff like here, I think I was born during that time, one of my past lives, but that's another story. I think you'll enjoy this one. Marvel's Avenger beta goes live a little early. This was tweeted out saying that, hey, this one's for you. Thanks, guys, for waiting. It was scheduled to be released around about 9 o'clock that day, around the 7th here, but they did drop it early with a thank you. It appears the game was ready to go, and it'll allow players to play out as Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Ms. Marvel, Hulk, and Thor. The beta included 4 hero missions with the game's campaign, 3 harm room challenges, 4 war zones, and 5 drop zones. The hero missions will take players through the previously shown A-Day event and a bit of its aftermath, while all switching between the heroes that will be featured in the main game. Harm rooms are more or less wave-based arena challenges that contain 10 waves. War zones are big, open-ended missions with multiple objectives, and drop zones are quicker single-objective missions. If you haven't pre-ordered the game, please go pre-order it as soon as you get a chance and crack open that beta. I understand that you will enjoy this thoroughly. Let's speak technical for a moment.
Technically speaking,
Your technological advancements.
1.21 gigawatts!
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Alright, technically speaking, the Samsung Unpacked event gave us a bit of a doozy with its biggest smartphone yet. Now, last year, Samsung unzipped its biggest flagship phone with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and now it's introducing an even larger phablet. Phablet, it's a good word there, phone, tablet, I get it. With the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, featuring a bigger 6.9-inch screen, faster Snapdragon processor, and the lowest latency pin yet. The Note 20 Ultra aims to be the most powerful smartphone you can buy for, of course, a hearty sum. As with last year, the Note 20 will come in 2 sizes. The regular Note 20 features a 6.7-inch FD Plus display, while the larger Note 20 Ultra integrates the 6.9 Quad HD screen. The larger phone not only has a bigger display, but it also hits a higher refresh rate of about 120 Hz. The biggest improvement of the Note 20 series is how much faster the S Pen will feel as you're scribing the display. According to Samsung, the latency of the integrated stylus has been reduced to as little as 26 milliseconds, and the Note 20 and the 9 on the Note 20 and 9 milliseconds on the Note 20 Ultra. So that's a pretty good upgrade there. Internally, both phones come running with the Snapdragon 865 Plus processor. That's a step above the regular Snapdragon found in all other flagship phones, from the Galaxy S20 and the OnePlus 8 Pro. The new chip offers a higher clock speed of about 3.1 gigahertz over normal Snapdragon 865 that runs at 2.84 gigahertz. This is an amazing looking phone. Now, not only did they reveal these 2 phones here, they're also going to be revealing, they have revealed, I should say, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 and the Tab S7 Plus. The flagship tablets are getting even bigger for 2020, whereas the previous Galaxy Tab S6 had a 10.5 inch screen, the S7 has moved up to a whopping 11 inches display. Now, Samsung has also introduced a new Galaxy Tab S7 Plus model, which features its largest 12.4 inch Super AMOLED screen, WQXGA Plus. Both tablets also feature a 120 Hz display, 4 Dolby Atmos certified AKG speakers, and an octa-core processor. The S7 and S7 Plus will be released for fall at about $649 and $849 respectively. Also, there was the release of the Samsung Galaxy Buds Live, the Samsung's first pair of noise-canceling, truly wireless earbuds. These fully wireless earbuds feature 12 millimeters drive and paired with 3 microphones. The Buds will be live available starting on August 6th, which is this past week, at $169. Samsung is doing this thing, I will admit that. For the last few years here, they have had the most biggest reveals and the best phones. iPhone's really not doing anything that original, but of course, they never really have. But people still buy them, they like them, they're in love with the iOS, and I can't get mad at them. But for me, make mine a Droid. So I think that wraps up everything. I'm glad you guys stuck in here with me, so I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all for listening. Please be sure to watch for upcoming content. Trust me, I've got something cooking up for you guys that you are going to absolutely love. But listen to all the old stuff. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow us on social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, live to play to win to live. I speak geek. Do you speak geek?